One of the problems with pavements is that there's always a longitudinal joint between the lanes when you're building a road. That longitudinal joint is always the weakness within the pavement. And the result is you get a crack over time, and then it expands, and then it's the primary reason that you have to repave the road on average about every 14 years in the United States. The problem of longitudinal crack from the joint is a long-standing problem that's been well known in the industry for many years. Heritage had been looking at a variety of solutions over time, really going back into the 1970s.
We saw that the need to fix the problem had to be done before construction. Topical solutions have been around for decades, and they just were not addressing the problem to a level of satisfaction for the customer.
It was a matter of us putting our heads together and figuring out how can we develop something that could be applied much simpler and provide equal or better long-term benefits. J-Band is a product made by Asphalt Materials, also known as a Void Reducing Asphalt Membrane. J-Band is a highly polymer modified asphalt cement with fillers that is placed on the pavement in the area of the longitudinal joint prior to asphalt paving. When you place the hot asphalt over the top of it, it melts and comes up into the asphalt mix. Illinois being the first state that utilized the product starting back in 2001, they've seen a significant improvement. Obviously with those projects done early on, there were control sections done as well, and there's a noticeable difference in the performance of the longitudinal joint where J-Band was placed relative to the control section. So IDOT's using it pretty much everywhere today for the joint of the final surface on their roadways.
When we originally were developing the J-Band brand, we really focused on what we felt were the three most important things to both highway users and agencies, and that's time, money, and lives. And so we felt like we had to have a solution that was very fast and didn't slow the construction process down. From a money standpoint, the economic value proposition was really spelled out in a 2021 TRB paper from the Illinois DOT, where they went through very meticulous calculations and documented that the use of J-Band actually has a 3 to 5 time return based on its cost at the time of installation. And that's in net present value, so that's in today's dollars. That's real savings for an agency that paves thousands of miles of road every year. In terms of lives, by making that joint last longer, it means there's less maintenance that has to be done at the joint. And when you're working on a paving joint, you are right next to live traffic. So we feel like that's the most sensitive position that these workers are often in when they're working sometimes between the barrels performing maintenance activities. So J-Band has clearly demonstrated its value under longitudinal joints for the last 20 years, but in the last 5 or so, we've demonstrated added value under the longitudinal joints that also have the safety feature of rumble strips ground into them. I think those joints are even more vulnerable to water intrusion because of the rumble strips being cut into that vulnerable part of the pavement. VRAM has been applied in 27 states as well as the District of Columbia, and we see tremendous opportunity for growth ahead. Probably what I'm most excited about is the opportunity for international expansion. Just this year, we were approached by multiple provinces in Canada, and we've entered into discussions with a company to take this technology to Europe. So the development of J-Band really addressed the problem from the bottom up, and that's what's so unique about it and so unique about the Heritage Group in tackling the big problems and finding solutions that really address the true need of the customer.
Part of the value that we are really providing goes way beyond just the cost of this product being applied. It's the fact that you've made the road actually last much longer.